In the last session, we have seen how to enable the offerings and options, and we created implementation project. As a part of implementation project creation, we selected offerings and options, system created task list. So this is what we have seen in the system. Along with that, we discussed about releases, what is the latest release of the application we are going to use. Now, we created implementation project, and during the implementation project, we selected offerings and options. If you want to create the blank implementation project, yes, you can create. How to create the blank implementation project, how to add these offerings or options. After creating implementation project, we'll see. You can go back to this implementation project creation page. Just click on create. Here I'm going to give the name as, just for our testing, XYZ implementation project. So if you want to give the finish date, you can give, or else simply you can say save and open project. If you click on next, we can select offerings and options into this implementation project, but we are not going to select any offerings and options into this project. We want to create the blank project without any offerings and options. We want to create the project. After providing the name, you can click on save and open project. Now the blank project is created, XYZ implementation project. Now you can add the offerings and options. Okay, now you can add the offerings and the options. So what we'll do is, just 1 second. The same instance I'm opening under 2 different tabs. Okay, so that what are the project we created in the last session that we can compare with this. Setup and maintenance. Click on task list, manage implementation projects, the Google implementation project. So within this Google implementation project, we have financials as offering. To expand financials, inside you can find the different options. Invoicing and payment configuration means payables, expense option, fixed assets option, and receivables, revenue management, etc. If you go to this project, this is a blank project, empty project. So if you want to add the offering called as financials, you can add from here. Click on add. So here search criteria is selected as a offerings. Now you can use the name financials, search, select, apply. If you want to add the entire financials offering or any other offerings to this project, you can do that. Or else, so you want to add only define invoicing and payment configuration. Define invoicing and payment configuration means only payables. Yes, you can add this payables option also. Or else within the payables, you can find many task lists. If you find the folder icon that you can call as a task list, you see that pop-up shows task list. Place cursor on this task list. Place cursor on this is the task list. Okay. So this is how we have a different task list. So this is the offering. This is one of the option. Entire option, if you want to add, you can add it. Otherwise, within this option, what are the different task lists are available, those also you can add. Here you can see. The background you can see financials is added. Now what you want to do is you want to add only payables into this project. Define invoicing and payment configuration. Yes, you can add. Click on add. Now you are not going to add offering, you are going to add option. To add the options, You have to select the search criteria as a task list. What is the name? Define invoicing and payments configuration. So define invoicing and payment configuration. So define invoicing and payment configuration. You can select, click on apply. In the background, you can see define invoicing and payment configurations added. This is how you can add a specific option also. If not this, you may add the fixed assets or receivables. You can add it to this project. If you don't want to add specific option, you can add specific task list also. Say, for example, define payables you want to add into this project. Yes, you can keep this as a task list only. So define payables. Okay. So define payables and say apply. So define payables. So add it. Here you can expand define payables. Within this, we have a different tasks. Different tasks we have. If you want to add specific task into your project, yes, that is also possible. Say, for example, I want to add manage payment terms task to our project. Manage payment terms. And that is a specific task, right? So you have to select search criteria as a tasks. The task name is manage payment terms. Say manage payment terms. Okay, manage payment terms. Click on search, select, click on apply. The background you can see manage payment terms is added. Now click on done. So here we can understand after creating the project also you can add the entire offering or within the offering specific option. If not option, within the specific option, specific task list, or you can add specific task also into a project. So this is how during the implementation project creation, you can select offerings and options into the implementation project, or else after creating implementation project, whatever you want to add, this is how you can add. Okay, so this is what we have to understand, how to add offerings and options and task lists and task into project at any point of time. Now, if you look at our Google implementation project, you can see this as a basic information. Okay, this is a basic information. So these details you can change at any point of time. Okay, so you cannot change the implementation project code. Rest of all fields you can change. Say we started working on this implementation project, you can set the status for this implementation project. What is the status of this implementation project? If you place the cursor on this status icon, it is showing not started. Now to do any changes for basic information except code, click on edit. You want to change the display name for the project, you can change the description also, you can change. So you started working on this implementation project. You can update the status to in progress. If anybody will look at this project, they can understand we are working on this project. That means we started doing the setups by using this implementation project. If you want to change the finish date and all else, you can change. So these changes you can do, and you cannot change the code. Code is freezed. Okay. Code is freezed. The assignment also you can change. You can assign to another user, or else you can keep assignment as a blank. So the changes you can do at any point of time except code. So save and close. Now you can see the implementation project status is in progress. Means we started working on this project. Say for example, so for this entire financial, you want to assign to one team member that you can update in the project level itself. You can select financials, the entire financials you can assign to specific team member. Here team member means consultant. You want to assign to so and so financials consultant. If you want to assign the entire financials, you can select entire financials and click on assign tasks. Click on assign tasks. You want to assign these financials to whom? You can just click on add. You can find the person name. Okay, what are the users already you have? You can find and you can assign to any one of the user for our testing purpose. Here for our testing, just you can type A and you search. Definitely there should be few users because this is a practice instance. You can find many users. Okay. So you can select any one of the user. Selecting one user. Say apply. Say done. Now we want to assign the financials implementation means setups. Okay, performing the setups in instance to specific consultant. Okay. And by which due date these finance setups should be completed by this consultant that you can specify here. The due date is that the finance setups need to be completed by this date. The same way you can add this financials to multiple resource also, multiple users or say multiple consultants. If you want to add to multiple, you can click on add here. You can select one more user, nothing but one more consultant who is going to work for this finance implementation. And for that user,
LAXMAN,
give the please.
hello. Yeah. Is it like a project management within the system to complete the configuration during the implementation project?
It is
Or is it a way to...
No, 1 second. It's not a project management. It is just setup management. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, how, why it is required to assign a particular users to the configuration, right?
Just
Why
for
it is not
information purpose. Just for information purpose. Who is taking care of the financials? Who is taking care of SCM? Or else within the financials, payables you may assign to one consultant, receivables to another consultant, as a fixed assets to another consultant. Just for information, if you assign, there won't be any control. Even if you don't assign, there is no disadvantage. So if you assign project progress level, you can see who is responsible for what, how much complete, how much is pending, how many setups
So
are
that doesn't
for due date.
That doesn't mean that only these users have access to those particular tasks.
It is not restricting the access to these users. This is just for information. Now we are assigning these two users to finance and project level. The project is assigned to Google. Any other users can work on this project who got access to FSM. Okay.
Makes sense.
Just for information who are working. Again, it is not mandatory. If you don't want to assign finance or payables or receivables to different team members, don't assign, inform them to work on the financials for respective applications to complete the setups. If you do these assignments, you will be able to track the progress of the project and the resource who are working and where they are responsible, all the information you can track. After these assignments, we'll update the statuses and all. After that, we'll go through that point. You can see how this would be useful. Yep. For this user also, you can give the due date. So for this user also, you are giving the same due date. It says save and close. So this is how we can assign the entire offering to one or multiple consultants. Okay, one or multiple consultants. So if you want to assign specific option, just expand it. If you want to assign specific option, say for example, so you want to assign the final payables application to one consultant. Define invoicing and payment configuration means payables. Now select this payables task list. Click on assign tasks and click on add. Okay, I want to assign to this consultant. Select and say apply. Click on done. To complete the payable setups, you can set the due date here. Just click on the same record. Due date, by which date the payable setups need to be completed. By 10th. Say save and close. So now if you expand, define invoicing and payment configuration. Within that, what are the tasks we have, you can see. So one user it is displaying and two more users are there. Two more, total 3. The entire financials we assign to 2 consultants, only payables we assign to 1 consultant. That's how for payables, 3 consultants are assigned to complete the setups. Okay, for 2 consultants, same due date, for 1 consultant, different due date. So that's how you can do the assignments. If you don't want to assign the entire payables application, specific task list also you can assign to resource. I want to assign this define disbursements task list to 1 consultant. Select it and click on assign tasks. Click on add. Okay, I want to assign to this consultant. Set up. And you can set the due date. Which date this consultant has to complete the setups. For that you can set up. If you don't want to assign the entire task list, specific task also you can assign to specific resource. For example, within this define payables, I want to assign this payables payment term setup to one of the consultants. Select this task. So which task need to be completed by which consultants? You can see this assigned to only task level. You cannot see task list level or option level or offering level. Okay. So only task level you can see. The assignments you can do offering level, option level, or task list level. But the assignments will get displayed against the tasks only. Now I'm selecting the task called as manage payment terms and click on assign tasks. Just click on assign tasks. It is showing already this task is assigned to 3 consultants and you can see permitted is no. That means to these 3 users, the application implementation consultant role is not assigned. That is the meaning of permitted, not permitted option. If it is it's showing as a tick mark, that means it's a permitted. Now it is saying not permitted. That means to have access to these setups, this users doesn't have access to application implementation consultant role. If you assign application implementation consultant role for these 3 users, it shows permitted as a yes. We given access, we assign, but we have to allow them to perform the setups by assigning application implementation consultant role. Now, what I want to do is manage payment terms. Here also you can see manage payment terms setup. I want to allow only 1 person to complete. Only for this task, you can remove the previous assignments. you can remove. Okay, this manage payment term setup, you want to allow somebody to perform. That user you can select. Just wait for a moment, it will. You can search. Okay. And you can pick any one of the user and say that. Here, see, for this user, it is showing permitted. That means this user got access to application implementation consultant role or some other roles which are required to perform this setup. You can set due date. Say, this payment term setup should be completed by tomorrow. Say save and close. Here also you can assign this one task to multiple consultants. So that's how you can do the assignment at entire offering level or option level or task list level or specific task level also. Okay. So assignments you can do at various levels. So this is what we have to understand. So it's all about assign offerings or options or task list or task to team members, you can say. So once we assign offerings, options, task list or specific task to the team member, they'll start working on the instance. Say for example, a consultant started working on the payables. Payables means define invoicing and payment configuration is equal to payables application. So the consultant started working on this payables application and they can update the status. Here by default the status is not started. Now you can click on the same status icon and you are working for payables and you started working on the payable setup. You can update the status like this, in progress, and say save and close. So you started working on fixed assets also, you can click on this status icon and you can set the status as a completed. Say save and close. Okay. So this is how you can update the status. Here in progress, here you completed. Here later you may complete that setups. You started working now, later you may complete. You can click on the same status and you can set the status as a completed. You completed payable setups also. So if you set the status as a completed, that is just for information. Without completing also, if you want to set completed, you can set that. That's what we did just now. We didn't do any setups. We are able to set the status. This is for information purpose only. Even after setting the status as a completed, still you can go and do the payable related setups or fixed assets related setups. That system will allow. It is not going to stop us. This is just for information purpose. The same way you can set the expense application status is in progress. You started doing expense application related setups, you can update the status accordingly. So this is how, based on the assignments, you can update the status. If you want to do the assignments, you can do the assignments, or else if you don't want to set the status, you can set. If you don't want to do the assignments and if you don't want to set the status, after creating implementation project, directly you can start working on the project. No assignments, no status updates. Directly you can go and perform. But if anybody is going to look at the project, they don't find who are working in this project, what is the status of, each and every application setups, they cannot understand. If you update the assignments and status, anyone can look at this project. That would be that will have a detailed information to understand which resources are working, which setups are going to be completed when, because we are giving the due date. Okay, and what are the setups are already completed. This complete information we can see. Now you can click on done. So when you assign any project to user, the advantage is if you click on overview, it will display the projects which are assigned to this current user. Current user is Google. To that user, what are the projects are assigned, you can see those projects. System will filter and you can see the status also. So Google implementation project, other one is XYZ implementation project. Anyway, this XYZ implementation project is not required. I am going to delete it. Just to understand how we can add offerings, options, task list, task to project. After creating a project, we created this. Now XYZ implementation project is not required for us. Okay, that you can delete. Fine. It takes some time to delete all the task lists and tasks, offerings and options which are available in this project. So after deleting, we'll go through our implementation project. Google implementation project, what we did, we updated statuses and we completed assignments. Okay, we completed assignments. Different levels you can do the assignments. The same way, different levels you can update the status. So because of that status, here you can see the progress of the project. So within this Google implementation project, so we updated and we did assignments. Now system is showing 20 setups are complete. Please go on mute. Thank you. So 20% setups are completed. The 20% setups in this project is 446 tasks. Here it is displayed. And 76% setup status is not started. The count of the tasks are 1658. And here you can see 4% setups are in progress. Those are 70-80 tasks. If you click on which setups are in progress, it will display. Just click on this 4%, the portion, so it will display which setups are in progress. You can see here. It will display directly. Now go to assignment status tab. If you want to see which setups are already completed, you can click on this 20%. Just click on this 20%. The tasks are 446. This is all you can see here. Again, go to assignment status. So this is how you can just check. You can check how much percentage completed, how much percent in progress, how much percent not started, what are those exact tasks also you can verify. Here you can see the due dates, assignments, next week. Okay, these all tasks need to be completed next week, but already completed tasks are these. Sorry, these already completed. Okay, we are supposed to complete these setups by next week. These are all setups, but 437 tasks are completed now itself, which need to be completed in the next week. So you can see their due date is next week. And this is how you can verify. Now go to assignment status by task list. Assignment task list by assignment status by task list. Here, these are the different folder options. Whenever you expand financials, what are the different folder options you have? All you can see here. And each folder option, each task list status you can see. The task list can refer one application, or else some set of tasks also can be represented by the specific folder what we have in the project. So define common application configuration for financials not started. Within that we have 290 tasks. Okay, and define invoicing and payment configuration. So status is completed. So this expense status is in progress. Fixed asset status is completed. This is how you can check. And which resource are working for this setups, you can see that by clicking on resource status. Okay, select resource status. You can see these two resources are going to perform these many number of tasks. And if you talk about this week, so this consultant or this user is going to complete these setups. Okay, so just completed only one setup only, that is manage payment terms. Say next week, who has to complete what setups, how many tasks, everything it will display. So in the next week, so these 3 users, please go on mute, please. So the next week, okay, these tasks are assigned to these 3 users. Okay. Later, in 3 weeks, coming 3 weeks, nothing. Only this week and next week only, we have these assignments. Maybe in 4 weeks, anything is there? Yes. 4 weeks means in the 4th week of this month. So to this user, 8 tasks are assigned. Those are already complete. And that's how you can see the assignment. This is how you can measure the progress of the project. Who are working, who's responsible for what is the status of their work, everything we can check from this implementation project. So any questions from anyone, please?
Hello, hi Lakshman.
Yeah, please.
So Lakshman, actually, if I understood correctly, basically these implementation projects are nothing but the access assigned to whichever consultant will work on that task list or something. For example, if I want one consultant to work on like let us say one of the task or task list, basically first he need to have the application implementation role access, and then we should be assigning them the task list. Only then they can perform that task. Is it correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions from anyone, please? Okay. No questions now.
Hi Lakshman, quick question. So you were mentioning the resources who was assigned to this project, right? So for the current project, which the Google implementation project which exists, so so is it showing based upon this week this particular person should complete this task, or is it are the persons that are related to some other implementation task which is showing?
No, only whatever the resource we assign to this project only. So anything you see here related to this Google implementation project.
Okay.
So at a time you can select only one project here. You may assign multiple projects to Google, but only one you can select to see the status.
No, the due date which you are showing, right? Within 4 weeks, only this particular task needs to be completed. I mean, this particular resource has to be completed. So is that resource, like whoever it is showing, is that person as assigned to this project? That's the reason it is showing?
Exactly. So in this project, in this current week, who has to complete what setups? Next week, this project, who is going to complete which setup? That's all. Only related to this project.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Yep. Any
Um,
other questions?
Lakshman, I have a question. And once again, I'm sorry I joined late if I had missed. And I'm asking the same rudimentary question, redundant question, excuse me. When we are assigning these resources, suppose as an implementation consultant or a project manager, when I create my user, I have to also create all these users, and what capacity will I be able to assign the roles so that I can assign them to all these tasks, Lakshman?
Yeah. Yes, who are working as a consultants, we create those as a users in the instance. That is the first point. And anyone you want to allow them to perform the setup, since they all are going to work as a consultants, we have to assign the role called as application implementation consultant role. Say you created 4 users who are going to work as a consultants. So you can assign anything from this project to those 4 consultants or 4 users. You are assigning, that is okay. But if you want to allow them to perform the setups as per that assignments, those users should have access to application implementation consultant role, then only they'll be able to complete the setups.
Okay, so I can actually copy my role to them, for example, and then go and remove these options or the product which are not to be implemented by them. For example, under my role, I have all the 4 or 5 applications under GL. I mean GL, AP, AR, FA. And if I have one ex-consultant for only FA, so even if I copy the role, I can go and I can deselect the GL and AP and AR and only let FA so that he can do the setup for FA. Because I don't want him to do the RC, though it's part of the implementation consultant role. I don't want that particular resource to be able to do the setup for the applications which is not assigned to them.
Yes. In that case, you have to customize application implementation consultant role itself. What you can do is you can copy that, from that you can remove. If you assign this role to any consultant, what you want to allow them to access, accordingly you can create the new application implementation consultant role.
Oh, okay. So implementation consultation role for FA, for GL, for APR, like that.
Everything, all
create
by
an
default.
awesome. Okay, understood. Okay.
By default,
Understood.
if you assign application implementation consultant role, that will allow any user to perform any setups. If you want to restrict, customize it, modify that. How to customize and all, we'll have a separate session.
Sure. Thank you, Lakshman.
Yeah, thanks. So any other questions from anyone, please?
Yeah, Lakshman, so like let us say yesterday you briefly touched upon this, like let us say if we are implementing in 4 countries, 1 companies. So basically we will have 4 implementation projects. Now let us say, so basically it will depend upon if the processes are different across the countries. For example, 4 countries, 4 different processes. So we will have different implementation projects. But if the process is uniform across all the 4, usually, so basically will it be like we will be defining only one, like can this be a criteria to decide whether we should have one?
No.
Okay.
Not based on process, same or different.
Okay.
Ease of performing the setups. On that base, you will decide you want to create 1 or 4.
Okay.
So when you see, if I'm using one implementation project and if I'm doing the setups for 4 countries, so now I may perform one setup for India. When I'm doing some setups for India, I'll select India related some value. And if I want to do the setups for US, by mistake, the same value, once I select the value, that will be there as a constant in the setup process. We'll come to know very soon.
Okay.
So if I try to do the setups for US, by mistake, I may complete the setups for US based on the India value. Okay, certain setups. So here you have one column called as a selected scope. Here it will default. Okay. So when you perform the setups, you will see and you will understand that. Okay. So process can be same or different, but ideally if you are doing the implementation for multiple countries, in the process of doing the setups, So to make it more clear which setups we are doing for which country you are doing, we maintain the separate project so that consultant job will become easy. Otherwise, sometimes definitely will commit to the mistakes since we are switching in one project for different countries related setups. Yep. That's what we have to understand.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Any other questions?
Hi, Lakshman.
Yeah, please.
Before assigning tasks to specific persons or users, if I want to include like only expense configuration in this project while implementing the project, so you use that edit button to do that?
No. What you want to do it? Expense?
Like before assigning tasks to specific person, I got that. I'm including from financials, I'm including 2 to 3 things in this project, whatever I'm doing.
Okay.
So to include those 2 or 3 things, I need to go to that edit button to do that?
No. Add.
Here. Okay.
Here. Add. Yeah.
All right.
Edit for the purpose of status. See here, what you can do is, so I selected define expense configuration. In 2 ways you can change the status. One option is you can click on the status directly. It will update and I can change. Or else what I can do is I can select this record task list, click on edit status. What I already selected expense. Okay, click on edit status. Now I can change the status. Yep.
And once again, please, what is this show business objects in blue color?
Show business objects. Which one you are referring?
With edit, yeah, this one with
Which
edit
one?
status.
No,
yes.
We don't need to do anything with the business objects. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Based on business objects, we don't do anything. It is a kind of classification for the tasks. Okay, classification for the setups. You don't need to do anything. So the setups belongs to what classification related to business certain setups that relevant it will show.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry, Lakshman, one more question. At the folder level, you have this assigned task. Assigned task can also be done after opening the folder at the level of the tasks.
Any level.
When you open the
right?
no, I joined late. I'm very sorry. Yeah, maybe.
Late. Those all discussed. You
okay. I'll just go through
it. At offering level. You can do the assignment at option level, or else you can do the assignment at task list level, or you can do the assignment at specific task level.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay.
All the levels.
Because this assignment at the task level or that level, I think that will also answer my earlier question. I was just wondering. Yeah.
That's all.
Because when we assign the task. When we assign the tasks and then the user, when we make the email as a mandatory, when we're creating such users, will the assignment made go as an email to the particular consultant or a person whom we have assigned?
No. See, this is the implementation reality. When you do the implementation, it is not like unknown activity. It's very much known. It's a teamwork. There will be meetings and there will be a lot of communication takes place. Apart from that, if you want to update in the system, you can use this option. Frankly speaking, when you do the implementation, in most of the implementation, we don't do these status updates and assignments. Everybody knows what is their responsibility. Say, for example, you are part of implementation project for financials, 2 consultants are there. So you may work for 2 applications, other consultant may pick 2 or 3 applications. They know very well. We don't need to go and update in the instance for payables and receivables, 1 consultant, for GL, FA and CM, another consultant, you don't need to update. If you want to update, you can update, that options are available. So that when you look at the project, you can see which resources are working for which applications, such kind of information will be able to view. And status updates also. So when we are in the project, always we'll keep in touch with other team members and the project team. There will be meetings very often, and there will be email communications. So in all the ways, everybody will come to know. Okay, everybody will come to know payable setups are completed or not, the finance setups are completed, or procurement setups or SCM setups. So that sort of communication takes place outside of the system. Within the system also, if you want to update, you can use this status updates. In the same way, if you want to do the assignments, you can use this assignments. These two are not mandatory. If you want to update in the system, we have option. The most of the implementation reality, we don't do the status updates and assignments. Some implementations, yes. So people may plan to do this status changes and assignments. Accordingly, it will work.
Thank you, Lakshman.
Yeah, thanks. Right. So that's all about implementation project creation by selecting offerings and options. That is the first point. The second point we have seen, we created a blank implementation project. After creating the blank implementation project, how to add the entire offering or how to add the specific offering or option or a task list or task. Those also we have seen. And we discussed about the status updates. If you do that status updates, you will be able to see the progress of the project. Okay. This is how, like, if you select project, the project related assignments and the resource assignments, everything you can see. This it shows task list wise, resource status, assignment details. Is all you can see. Okay. So that's all about implementation project creation. At any point of time, if you want to add additional offerings, you can add into this project. That is possible. Yeah. Now, if you want to do any setups, how to perform the setups? We'll start with the setups, but just for information purpose. If you want to do any setups, how to do the setups? Say, for example, you want to create the payment terms. You want to create the payment terms. What is the purpose of the payment terms? We'll discuss when we are working on that relevant topic. But now, to understand how we can go to that page, how we can perform, you can search for the task. Say you want to create the payment terms. Here we have a search field, task related search. Search for payment terms. Click on search. Here you can see task called as manage payment terms. Click on manage payment terms. Here is displaying the task called as manage payment terms. If you click on go to task icon, it will take us to payment terms creation page. Okay, it will take us to payment terms creation page. 1 second. It's not displaying. Okay, let's select some other one. I'm selecting one. It's not displaying. If you just sign out and sign in, it will work. Sometimes it won't display because we open the multiple pages. That is the reason it is not open. We'll just sign out and sign in. Click on username. Click on setup and maintenance task. Go to task list, manage implementation projects. Click on overview. What are the projects that are assigned to this user? You can see directly. Open this project. You want to go to payment terms page. payment terms. Click on manage payment terms. Click on go to task icon. This is how it will take us to the page. So here you can perform the setups. So reality, when you click on this search and just click on manage payment terms, or else before we proceed, you see this path. So if you want to create the payment terms, reality, this path you have to follow. Okay, this path you have to follow. First, you have to go to financials. Under financials, you have to expand, define invoicing and payment configuration. Under that, we have a define payables. Under define payables, we have manage payment terms. Okay, just open another tab and you can see the same path. Go to our implementation project, task list, manage implementation projects, click on overview. Now just open this implementation project. So if you want to create the payment terms, what is the path? First, we have to go to financials. Yes, we are here, we have financials expanded. Within the financials, we have a task list called as define invoicing and payments configuration. So define invoicing and payment configuration, you can expand it. And next, you have to go to define payables. Define payables, you expand it. Define payables, you expand it. Now, under define payables only, we have manage payment terms. You can see here, manage payment terms. You no need to remember this entire navigation or path. If you want to do any setups, simple process. Just search for the specific task, it will display, then you can click on manage payment terms, then click on go to task icon. Okay, this arrow mark we call as go to task icon. It will take us to the relevant pages. You can see this go to task icon only for tasks. You cannot see for task list. Task list contains multiple tasks. So this is how you can go to specific task and you can perform the setups. And one more point, you click on search, and if you click on manage payment terms, okay, so here also it will display task hierarchy. To come to this folder, what is the path we have to follow? You can see, just click on this show hierarchy icon, arrow icon. From financials, we have to go to define invoicing and payment configuration. Under that, you can find define payables. Under define payables, we have manage payment terms task. So this is how we can find out specific task by following the path, but we never follow the path. Always we search and we perform the setups. For example, you want to create the calendar or you want to create the customer. Search for customer. Okay, search for the task called as customer. The customer term you can search, you can find create customer. By clicking on this create customer, you can create the customer. So you don't need to follow this path. These paths you don't need to follow to create the financials, define receivables configuration, define customer. Not required, you don't need to remember. So when I talk about path or navigations, you no need to remember in the Fusion applications. Simply you can go to project. Within the project, you can search, you can find, and you can perform the setup. Without creating implementation project also, you can do the setups. Okay. Without creating implementation project, you can do the setups. If you create implementation project, what is the advantage? The advantage is, say for example, you complete all the setups in the test instance by creating implementation project. So all the setups, if you want to move from test instance to development instance or test instance to production instance, the same setups you want to copy from here to here or here to here. If you have implementation project, that is possible. If you don't have implementation project, being a functional consultant, we cannot do it. We have to take the DBA help, database administrator support, to copy the setups. If you have implementation project, simply we can perform. Okay, that is the advantage. Right, that is the advantage if you have a implementation project created. Say, for example, you don't want to create implementation project, still you want to perform the setups. Yes, possible. Yeah, you should remember all these navigations, or every time you have to select each and everything. Say, for example, you want to do some setups for financials. You can come to this page. How you can navigate to this page? Simply if you click on setup and maintenance, you can land in this page. Okay, you can land in this page. So which applications you want to perform the setups, that you have to select here. You are going to do setups for financials. Think you don't have project. If you don't create project, you can do the setups from here also. But you see, try to understand the process. If project is available in project, you can search and easily you can find the task and you can perform the setup. If you want to do the setups from here, first you have to select, you want to do the setups for which offering. I selected financials. Again, within the financials, I want to do the setups for which application. For example, I want to do the setups for payables. Select payables. Okay. So first I selected financials, now I am selecting payables. Two selections are done. After selecting payables, it is displaying few tasks. To see all the tasks, again I have to select all tasks. You just count how many actions we are performing. Okay, how many actions? First financial selected, then payables is selected, then all tasks are selected. Now, if I want to find out any task, I can just go through and I can find from here. I have to scroll down and here and there I have to find it. Or else from here I can search. Say payment terms. Search. Manage payment terms. Okay, manage payment terms. You can click on this. It will take us to that page. Here it is selected. The selection is showing. Now again you have to click on manage payment terms, then it will take us to that page. First one, then selection 2. The third one is the all tasks. Then fourth one, you can search from here. Then it will display. The fifth action is you have to click on this, then finally you can go to that page. If you have everything in the project, you can keep this project open all the time. Any setups you want to do, search, then click on that, it will take us to that page. That's how the project will be useful. So in every implementation, we create an implementation project and we do the setups. Without creating implementation project, if you want to do the setups, yes, we have option. From here, you can do that. So this is a point you have to understand. And one more point, apart from implementation project and this page, we have one more page to complete the setups. Which page is that? You can go to task list. Okay, by clicking on manage implementation projects, we are going to project creation page and we are creating. Here we have a task called as search. Click on search. It will take us to global search. It will take us to global search. Say, for example, within your project, you have only financials. That means you can do only finance setups. You are going to FSM home page. That means this page. If you go to setups and maintenance, you have to select specific offering here, so that within that offering, by selecting specific functional area, you can do the setups. Here also limited. If you select financials, you can do only finance setups. If you create implementation project and if you select only financials into implementation project, from that project, you can do only finance related setups. But if you go to search page, this page we call as global search. Within this instance, what are the offerings and options are available? Any task you can access from here. But the disadvantage is from this, you can complete certain setups only. All setups you cannot complete. What is the reason and all we'll come to know once we start doing the setups. There is a concept called as scope selection that won't be available here. If scope selection is not available, which is setups you have to perform with the scope selection, those you cannot complete from here. From implementation project, you can do all the setups based on offerings and options what you are selecting. And from the FSM homepage, you can do the setups based on what offering and options you selected. But from this search page we call as global search. From the global search, you can find any tasks, but all the setups you cannot complete since there is a concept called as scope selection that is not available here. So once we start doing the setups, we will just once again we'll go through this point. But remember, to perform the setups, we have three options. One is from the project. The second option is from FSM homepage. The third option is global search. Okay, these are the three different options are available to perform the setups. Okay, done. So any questions on this point, please?
So like in the real-time implementation, so which way is you have found that it is better out of all the three you explained?
We create always implementation project and we do the setups.
Okay, okay.
And even if you create implementation project, sometimes the project will remain as it is. You do most of the setups from project. Some setups, if you want to do from this page, you can do it. Some setups, if you want to do from global search page, yes, still you can go and do it. That's how we do. So we create project and primarily we try to do the setups from project only. Certain setups doesn't make any difference if you do from the implementation project or this page or global search page. Such kind of setups you can do from anywhere.
Okay, okay, sure. So yeah, just trying to understand. So like to say I have one implementation user which has application consultant role assigned to it, and we have assigned task to the user from the implementation project. Now same user, if he goes to the FSM page or global page, so can that particular user do any activity?
Yes.
And not specific to the task assigned from the implementation project. That user can do any activity. Okay.
Yeah, that assignment only for information. Only for information. It is not a rule we are creating. This user can do this setup only in this project.
Okay.
Not such kind of rule. That is just for information.
Okay, understood. Thanks.
Yeah. If you have a 10 projects, if that user is associated with only one project for a specific application or specific task, if you give access to application implementation consultant role, the same user can work for other implementation projects also.
Okay.
Yeah, possible.
Sure. Yeah, thanks.
Now we'll go back to our implementation project and we'll understand few points. So this is our implementation project. Now, here you can see the different columns. Help. Okay, go to task, scope selection status. Okay, predecessors and assign to, due date, assignment, authorized roles, notes, view reports. Just we'll walk through these columns and the purpose. Now, the first one is here we can see task. It displays offering or option or specific task list or task. It could be anything. So this is the offering name. So this is the option name. Within that we have a other task list, and inside of the task list we have a task. With the task only you can perform anything. This is all for classification purpose, grouping purpose. So for the tasks with that arrangements, they are showing in the system. So that's all about task column. And next one is help. So when we are going to work on this project, okay, if you want to understand, for example, you want to understand what does it mean by define payables configuration. There is a help icon. You click on this help icon. Okay, it shows certain basic information. If you want to see detailed information, you can click on manage help content. It will take us to different page. Okay, different page. Anything you can take here. Okay. So for example, define common application configuration for financials. You want to understand what does it mean by common application configuration for financials. Then you can click on that help icon. Just click on help icon. So what does it mean by common application configuration? You can see if you want to see more detail, you can click on this, or else you can click on search help. It will take us to help portal page. From there, for any information you can search, you can find the detailed information. For example, I'm clicking on search help. It will take us to Oracle help portal. Now from here you can search for any information. Okay, help center. From here you can search for any information. I want to search for payment terms. Search. Just wait for a moment. Yeah. So here, payment terms. Okay, the payment terms are used to automatically to create invoice installments. You can define payment terms to create multiple installments and multiple levels, etc. They're explaining. You can click on this, you can see the detailed data. Same way, task name is manage payment terms. You can define payment terms for use by your organization, purchasing transactions, wherever that payment terms is applicable. So the relevant search results is displayed. So that's how you can use this help icon. Okay, by clicking on this here itself, you can see certain data, or else you can follow that link and you click on manage help content, it will take us to help portal, or else you can understand. So define supplier configuration for financial means what purpose. Okay. So components prior to creating supplier includes lookups, supplier numbering, supplier values, etc., etc. For that purpose, you can use this task list they are explaining. So that's how you can use the help. So we can enable and disable this help. Okay, how to enable and disable this help? Click on username, and here you can see hide help icon. If I click on hide, this icon will be hidden. So I'm selecting hide help icon. Now just refresh this page, close and come back, expand. Now it's not showing any help for any task list, or even if you expand any task also, it won't display anything. No help icon it is showing. If you enable, it will display. Say show help icon. When you click on show help icon, it won't reflect immediately. Just you can click on done. You open the project. Please go on mute, please. Please. Anil Kumar. Please go on mute. Fine. So this is how you can enable help option, and you can disable if you don't want to see. So that's all about help. The second one is go to task. If you are going to do any setups, we use the go to task option. If you click on the go to task icon, it will take us to the relevant page. A selected scope that we will understand when you do the setups. For certain setups, you have to select some scope selection. Accordingly, you can do the setups. Once we start doing the setups, we will come to know about where this selected scope is applicable. And status already we discussed. Okay, if you want to update the status at offering level or option or task list or specific task level, you can use this status column. Another one is predecess tasks, means dependency tasks. When we are going to work on, when we are going to perform any setups, any dependency tasks are available, it will display. See here. So to complete these setups, there are some dependency setups. So you want to do this, define general payables option setup. If you want to do this, what are the other setups you have to complete before this that you can see? Click on this one dependency task, which task you have to complete before you complete this. You have to complete the define payables, that is a dependency task. So this is how you can find the dependency tasks. To complete all these setups, there is no dependency. Okay, here predecessors, it is showing 0. But if you want to complete these setups, okay, these setups from here to here, for all these, there is one dependency. Okay, so when you go through our classes, we will come to know all those, but from system side also there is clue. That's what we are trying to understand. So here you can find out which task has dependency on which other task. If you can see in the system, accordingly you can do the setups. First, you can go and complete the setups for that task, so that you will be able to create the rest of tasks which are going to depend on the same. The other column is assigned to. Okay, the offering or optional task list or task to whom it is assigned, accordingly within that level of tasks, the name it will display. And due date already we have seen. When we assign any offering or optional task list or task to any resource, along with assignments, you have to give the due date. And assignment permissions. Okay, assignment permissions. Here you can click on this assignment permissions. So it is showing this task is assigned to these 3 users, and whether it's permitted or not, it is showing here. Ideally, it has to display if it is permitted, tick mark like this, not permitted as a not permitted with a red color icon representation. It has to show. It is not reflecting. Otherwise, here you can see. Okay, which user has permissions, which user is not, doesn't have any permissions. That's how it will display. And say for example,
Lakshman, sorry to disturb you. Where do we specify the permissions?
it's not like specifying the permission. You can see. Say for example, you have this user. Okay, manage implementation. Sorry, manage payment term task is assigned to this user, right? Now this user has access to this manage payment terms or not. You can check here. Click on this. Let's click on assignment permissions. The required role is assigned to this user. It will show as a permitted. See, so this user is permitted to perform this setup. How permitted? With a specific role. So which role you can see here? If you want to complete this setup, which roles will allow you to complete that setup? Here you can see under authorized roles. Because of which roles the permission is given to this user, that you can find here. Which roles will allow the users to perform that setup. If you have access to any one of these roles, you will be able to perform the setup called as payment terms creation. So all roles will allow you to perform this setup. So that's how we'll verify. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I guess application implementation consultant role is assigned to this user. That's how it is showing it's permitted. Or else, if not application implementation consultant, these other roles. It could be any other role also. So that's how you can check. Okay. So this user is permitted to do or not. If not permitted, say it is showing not permitted, then what you can do is which roles will allow that user to perform this setup. Those immediately you can check here. Okay, these are the roles you can see. Which role we have to assign to this user. Accordingly, you can assign to the role so that that user will be permitted to do the setups with any one of this role. And notes. Okay, the notes. For example, you completed payable setups. Okay, you completed payable setups. You are updating the status as a completed. Now you want to write some note. Here you can click on this notes. It is showing a 0. You can click on the same 0. And it will allow you to write certain information here. Click on add. If you want to write any notes, here you can write the title and description. You can write here, just select first text. Okay, text. Here you can write some notes. Just I have completed payable setups and no other setups are pending related to payables also information you can provide. Or else you completed payable setups and everything you documented. You want to attach the document, so you can use the file option. And here you can choose the file. So what are the setups you did in the instance, all you captured into document, the document you want to attach here, so that anyone can look at the document, they can understand what setups are completed for payables. Or else certain information is available in the so-and-so URL, that URL you can provide here. You can select type as URL, you can provide. They can click on that link and it will display that information, what the users has to understand when they talk about payables application. So various levels, not only this level, any task list level, task level, or else entire offering level or each option level also. You can attach some documents or you can write some text or else you can provide some URLs. That's how you can see. And view reports. If you click on view reports, at financials level, if I click on view reports within the financials, so what setups are completed, which setups are not yet completed, the status it will display. For that purpose, we can view the report. Instead of viewing from here directly, you can go to the project level also, you can see the status or progress. And selected scope, we'll see once we start doing the setups. Apart from that, rest of all we just discussed. Help, go to task icon. If you click on go to task icon, it will take us to the page. Selected scope, or simply you can say scope selection. We'll see very soon when we do the setup. Status indicate the setup is in progress or not yet started or completed. You can use this status icon. And predecessor task is nothing but if any dependency tasks are available, you have it shows here accordingly. First you have to complete that setup, then you can proceed with the setup which is depending on another setup. And assign to, already we have seen, we can assign various levels of this project information to consultants. Due dates also you can see. And assignment permissions, which a setup can be performed by whom, like the person to whom we assign the setup, the person has a required role access to complete the setups or not, that you can see from here. And authorized role means which role will allow that user to perform so and so setup, that you can see. Accordingly, you can assign to that user so that that user will be able to perform that. And you can provide some notes. The view report means within this financials, or else I'll select define invoicing and payments configuration. If I click on view report, it will generate the report. Within the report, you can see within the payables, which are setups are complete, which are not complete, such kind of information it will display. So that's all about these. That's all about these options. And here we have a freeze. Freeze means For example, if this is a page we are using. Okay, we are able to access this page. We can click on freeze. Okay. So freeze, this section is freeze. Now you can detach. One more copy you can make, that's all. This is one more copy. This is the actual copy. This you can click on freeze and you can, this section will be freeze that you can detach. You can separate that freezed area. For that purpose, you can. So that's how we can just, we have to understand these points. So this is all about the implementation project creation and how to deal with the implementation project. So in the next session, we will see how to start with the setups. Okay, from tomorrow's session, we can start working on instance related to setups. Okay. To create the business transaction in the system, what setups are required, we will discuss and we'll get ready with the certain setups so that those setups will allow us to create the transactions within the instance. That we'll see in the next session. So we're done for today. If you have any questions, you can stay back. We will discuss. If you don't have any questions, we'll connect in the next session. Okay, our classes are Monday to Friday. So the next session would be on Monday, 10th. On Monday, we'll connect and we'll see the other setups. And meantime, try to complete the setups, whatever we did in the system, creating the user, creating implementation project, etc. Okay. Any questions from anyone, please?